Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. So today we are going to be going over the latest episode of The Oval called The Five Families. Okay, this is episode number 17. So let's get into it. All right. So Don is still choking Lilly, right? But he stops because he can't go through with it, just like I kind of suspected. All right. And I was happy about that. So after he pleads with Lilly, like, please don't make me do this, he asked her if she's gonna run, and she says no. So then he says, this could be a really good life, I promise you. And I don't want you to die. I love you. I swear I do. So last week I said that, I don't think Don really loves Lilly, okay? And maybe I was wrong, okay? But I will say that he's obviously not in love with her. So Lilly is crying and she starts crawling her way out the room, crawling down the stairs, and she eventually tries to run. She says to Don, "You tried to kill me." And he tells her that he was only doing that because of what they would do to her. So anyway, Don lets go of Lilly. He tells her she can leave, but he has to say goodbye to her first, because once she walks out that door, she's going to go to the cops, and then they, not the cops, but the infamous they, will kill her. She will disappear along with everything that she said. Now, he also goes on to tell her that if she stays, she can't divorce him. She has to stay by his side, and they have to have kids. Imagine that, guys, because sometimes I think that Lilly could be pregnant already. Just not by Don, of course, right? And could you imagine if Don agrees that Lilly could have sex with Bobby and even have his children to pass off as Don's? But some of the babies might have a little yummy chocolate tone, so then what? Anyway, so Lilly says, "Who are these people?" And Don tells her, "You don't want to know, but I'm next in line for the presidency." And I thought that was a pretty interesting revelation. Okay, then he tells her there are 5 families that run this country. They have money and they own everything. And when he said the 5 families, the first thing I could think of is the mob, okay? But nah, no Lucchese, because your girl loves her some mafia movies and mafia shows, okay? Anyway, so I guess it's not just Victoria's father who's in charge, right? And by the way, I meant to let you guys know that I'm getting like Eli Pope command vibes when they talk about Victoria's father. Anyway, so Don says they own oil companies, pharmaceuticals, Wall Street, and politics and everything, and they even own us. And the way he's spilling the tea, I guess he really does love Lilly, because he'd rather tell her everything than lose her, right? Or maybe he just wants to make sure he secures his spot for president. You never know with these folks. Anyway, so Lilly is still saying she wants to go, and Don tells her it's her choice, but if you go to the police, they will kill you. So Lilly says she won't. She just needs to take a drive and she'll come back. Don tells her, "I hope to see you tomorrow in our bed. I hope this isn't the last time I see you." Next, we have Gail coming into the kitchen, and after antagonizing Jean just a little bit, because, she wouldn't be Gail if she didn't do that, right? She lets Jean know that she appreciates what Jean told her boyfriend about her. That she's sorry for her. Now, of course, Gail says, "I don't need your sympathy, but I appreciate it." So now Gail lets Jean know the real reason why she came into the kitchen. She wants Jean to find out what really happened to Piggy. They're saying it was gang related, but Gail doesn't believe it. So at first, Jean is like, "Oh, how am I going to help you? And I'm just a maid. Ask Sam." And Gail tells her, "No, it has to be you. Ask around the neighborhood," or something like that. So Jean says, "Okay, have a good night." And Gail says, "You too." And of course, she had to drop the B word because that's Gail for you. Now, next we have Kyle and his mind games, okay? He's asking Hunter if he needs someone to take care of his needs, right? Now that Denise is gone. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But Hunter is like, "I know you're not seriously suggesting this. No, I don't want another girl." "That is what you were suggesting, right?" So Kyle says, "Sir, I was just talking about my friend." I think Kyle was talking about himself, okay? He was trying to take the place of Denise. Anyway, I know one thing. Don better be careful about trying to get back involved with Kyle, okay? Because Kyle will cheat on his behind again. Kyle's a little freak. Anyway, now, back at the hospital, Nancy, Sam, and Priscilla get good news that Richard is okay, right? So Sam says, now we could breathe easier. And Nancy says, can we? Because what about Barry? Sam then volunteers to go to the jail to tell Barry that his dad is okay because he's sure that Barry is concerned about him. So Nancy says, is he? I mean, he done drove the truck through the pharmacy window on purpose with his daddy in the front seat. So, Nancy ain't trying to hear no more. She is not making any excuses for Barry, and she feels like the boy done lost his doggone mind. So Priscilla is like, girl, I liked it better when you were in shock. Let's just focus on the good news and worry about the rest of the stuff later. And Priscilla's right, but I mean, you gotta feel sorry for Nancy. The woman is going through a lot, and all within a few days, right? I mean, she's absolutely glad that her husband is okay, but she's still missing a granddaughter. We can't forget that. And her son is out here being a menace to society. Next, we have Sharon at the pharmacy, and she's comforting Kareem, who's sulking over his store, and she's rubbing on him a little too much for my taste, especially after she was telling Kareem in last week's episode that she loves Barry and didn't want him to go to jail. But now you don't seem to be that upset, okay? And if you really cared about Mr. Richard, you'd been on your way to the hospital by now instead of with Kareem popping volumes. Anyway, I mean, this girl needs to seriously pick a lane, okay? Her character is just all over the place. Pick an emotion and stick to it. Sheesh. Anyway, so Kareem tells Sharon that Barry is crazy and he thinks that he would have killed both him and Sharon. He also tells her that Barry killed Ruth. But when he first says it, he states it like it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? But when Sharon asks, what are you talking about? He tells her that it's what everybody else is saying, right? But anyway, Sharon says she hasn't heard that and she doesn't know Barry to do something like that, right? Plus, she doesn't want to talk about that anymore. All she want to do is go find them pills, okay? Anyway, so next, we find out that creepy Jason has Hunter's secure Wi-Fi. And when Gail tells him that he's an idiot because they can see everything he's doing, Jason says, well, whoever's watching will just see how much porn Dad likes to watch. So we'll just see, guys, if this ever comes back to bite Hunter in the old bum. Next, we got Victoria, and she wants to know what happened to Denise. Hunter tells her he doesn't know. So when Victoria tells him she's going to start asking around, he tells her to just leave it alone. So she says, okay, I know how to find things out. And Hunter says, if you do that, you will raise a lot of red flags. So she says, then tell me. And he says, I don't know. I'm serious. So she leaves it alone and she tells Hunter that he needs to go in there and talk to his son ASAP. Like, I don't care if he's asleep, wake his behind up, okay? So Hunter goes into Jason's room to have the talk with him, if you could call that a talk, right? I mean, all he told him was that he didn't care what Jason did as long as Jason didn't embarrass him or the Oval. But the conversation turns into a, you better not be spying on me, once Jason told Hunter that he knew every time Denise was there and has even seen her. So like I said, pretty pointless conversation. Anyway, so then he calls Kyle to tell him that Jason is spying on him. But after Kyle says it's not possible because they do a sweep every day, Hunter tells him to keep an eye on Jason anyway. Next, Kyle goes to Don's house and tells him that Lilly has driven to the police station about 3 times. He tells Don that if she goes into the station, she's a done deal and there's no turning back. So Don says, I know, I get it, okay? And Kyle says, sorry, I know you liked her. And Don says, no, I love her. So Kyle's like, oh, please, give me a break. And Don tells him that he doesn't understand. And Kyle says, of course I don't. She's a girl. All right, so Kyle decides to go upstairs and wait for Don in the bedroom, even when Don tried to front like, I'm not going up there after you. Please, Don, please. Anyway, so Don calls Lilly while Kyle goes upstairs, but she doesn't answer. But what a coinky-dink, guys. Bobby calls her seconds later, and she tells him where she's at. He warns her not to go into the station because they have people there, and that he's pretty sure they are already watching her, okay? They already know that she's there. So he tells her to just come to him and he'll keep her safe. So before she pulls off, Sam sees her and asks if everything was okay. And Lilly says yes, that she just went for a drive and that she's about to go home, all right? So now we have Sam, and he goes into the precinct to talk to Barry. He tells him his dad is okay. Then Barry asks if his dad is in the hospital, which I thought was a pretty dumb question, okay? He just got shot in the chest. If he's not in the hospital, then he's in the morgue. And the guy just told him that he's okay, so he's not in the morgue. Anyway, so Barry tells Sam what happened and why he drove the truck through the window. So Sam says, well, if you could remember all that, then you didn't black out. So Sam asks Barry about Ruth. Are you sure you didn't hurt her in a fit of rage? And Barry says, no, as mad as I was at her, I would never do that to her or hurt anyone. But Sam says, you hurt Kareem. And Barry says, that's different. Kareem's a guy. I would never hurt a woman. Anyway, so Sam tells him that he's going to have to stay in jail and hopefully he could make bail. But in the meantime, don't talk to anybody in here about anything. Barry says, okay, just please make sure that my father knows that I love him and I'm sorry, and my mother too. Sam says, okay, I will. Next, of course, Don gives in to Kyle's corny and creepy behind. And yes, Kyle is a creep too, okay? And that's all I have to say about that. Now, Barry gets back to his cell and he sees someone he knows. The guy's name is Norm. So Norm tells him that Picky is dead and Denise was found with her head chopped off. And I'm just like, dang, these characters can't catch a break, especially the Halsons, right? So Norm says that the news reported that Denise was a prostitute, but they know that that was a lie. Now, here I thought that, the news meant she was an ex-prostitute, but whatever, maybe they lied about everything, okay? We see it all the time in real life. The news media has a way of controlling the narrative and telling the story they want to tell. Anyway, so Norm says, I don't know what's going on here, but it's deep. He goes on to tell Barry that he knows he's been around the White House and that Picky was with Gail and that the First Lady went to Denise's store and now all of this has happened. So he wants Barry to be careful. But, this ain't no news to Barry, okay? He knew about Gail and Picky and he knew Denise was involved with the president because he was hiding in her store when Max came to pick her up. Next, Lilly gets to Bobby's hotel room and she tells him that Don tried to kill her and that he wants her to stay and play house. But Bobby wants to know, why does Don want her to stay so desperately? Because he was feeling like, she knows more. Because why would Don be going this hard if Lilly didn't know a little something, right? So Lilly tells him, no, I don't know anything, right? But long story short, Bobby tells Lilly that she should go back to Don because as long as these people think they have you in line, you'll be safe. So you got to play the game. Go back to Don until you have something big to hold over his head. Then he can't stop you from leaving. Be one of them until you have enough power and connections to get out. So Lilly says, okay. Lastly, we have Victoria. She gets into bed with Hunter, right? But she drops her grandmother's earrings on the floor. Well, at least one of them, right? And Hunter tries to stop her from lifting up the rug because remember earlier, he found that there was still blood under the rug. So he's trying to stop her from picking it up. But, she gets it. She picks it up and she's like, okay, I got it. What the heck is wrong with you, right? Anyway, so as she's getting ready to put the earring back on, she notices blood on her hands. And that was that, guys. So I don't know how Hunter is going to explain that one, but we'll just have to see next week. All right, so that was the episode, guys. Before we go, I do want to say that there is something about Kareem I don't like, okay? Now, ladies, I know some of y'all probably think Kareem is so cute, he's so handsome, whatever, but all of that aside, I really don't like him. Like, there's something about him. First of all, it's annoying that, he has no respect for the fact that Sharon is with Barry or whatever. Like, even though Barry has lost his mind over the course of these days, still, he was doing that before Barry lost his mind, okay? He was pushing up. He had a girlfriend, and he was just, he's just doing the most, right? But my point is that he's been trying to push Sharon away from Barry, trying to plant bad seeds in her head about Barry for the longest time. Now today really made me wonder if he killed Ruth. Now, we already know that Picky has said something about Kareem selling drugs out of his store or something like that, out of the pharmacy. So there is something going on with him already. Picky also tried to tell Barry that Sharon was involved as well. So I'm not sure if that part of it is true, but I do believe that there might be some truth to what Picky was saying. It's a strong possibility that they're not just going to sprinkle that around, you know what I'm saying, and nothing's going to come of it, right? I don't think they would bring that to our attention and nothing comes of it. I do believe we're going to find out something pretty messed up about Kareem. And that is just what I feel. I feel like Kareem, he could have probably been involved in Ruth's murder to make it look like Barry did it. I don't know. But the question is, who planted the bloody knife and the money? You know what I'm saying? Now, if he's selling drugs, he does have access to that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? That wad of cash. But I don't know. This is just like a theory of mine. It's something that I thought about. Like when I was watching him, I was just like, I don't like this guy. Like I really freaking don't like him. And I just have a bad feeling about him. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? All right. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video, okay? Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed and be safe out there in the streets. Bye-bye.